Hey, welcome to the Two Hasbro's Toy Hunt podcast. My name is Gio, and joining me, as always, is not George. George has had a change of schedule, so it's just me today. It's an intimate Two Hasbro's Toy Hunt podcast, so it's the one bro. It's the one bro show today. George should be coming back relatively soon, but there's just some stuff happened. Some announcements were made, and I didn't want to go without making at least a quick episode talking about the new reveals and figures that have me excited about getting, and a pre-order that I made. A line that I don't collect, but when I saw the figure, I had to have it. So let's get right to it, shall we? We like to start the show talking about our newest purchases, or the newest figures that we got. I did have some figures that I was able to acquire. So I went to Walmart and I saw some Marvel Legends and some, the Black Series and the figures that I like to look at. And I saw a Loki that has the Hulk, the Professor Hulk Build-A-Figure, and it had the final piece that I needed. And I hadn't pulled the trigger on this figure because I didn't want to pay full price for it, Although I don't think these figures are breaking the bank, I still thought $20 was a bit too much. And since I've seen him so many times before, I figured eventually I would see him on clearance. So Walmart has this new, well, it's not new, it's been in effect for a little while, but they no longer have scanners in the stores, at least not the ones that I go to. So you have to go through the Walmart app to find the price. So I scanned it, and it came out to $10. And I thought, okay, yeah, $10 is doable. I'll get it for $10. I take it up to the register, and then when I scan it, it said it was $5. So, whoa, $5.50? After taxes? Why not? Made me even happier. So I was able to get the Loki from the Hulk Build-A-Figure. I was able to complete my Hulk Build-A-Figure. Now all I need is the gauntlet that comes with the Iron Man from the Thor wave. I'm on the search for that, but I also don't want to get an Iron Man. I'm not an Iron Man guy, and I don't want to pay full price for an Iron Man, but I think I'm going to have to. I don't think that piece is one that I'm going to come by via trade or find somewhere in a toy store the way I usually do. But that wasn't the only figure I picked up. As we left the Walmart, in the shopping complex, there is a Walgreens, which is like a stone's throw away. So as we're driving away, my wife says to me, "You want to go to the Walgreens?" I say, "Nah, don't worry about it. I'm pretty happy with the cheap Loki that I was able to pick up." And she said, "Hey, come on, it seems to be your lucky day. I mean, you found a figure for $5. You might find something you want in there." So I said, "Yeah, all right, let's go check it out." There's really nothing I want, as far as Legends-wise, because it's been pretty slow for me this year, as far as Marvel Legends that I want. So we go in there, and I find the Iron Man 2020. And it is a figure that's, when I saw, made me go, I might consider getting that if I ever see it. And lo and behold, I saw it. So I thought, you know what? I don't want to disappoint the wife. Let's pick this Iron Man up. So I was able to get the Iron Man 2020, and oh boy, is it a figure that I really, really like. The design on it is really cool. The way he has gears on his shoulders, and he's got a propeller on one hip and a gear on the other. And I don't know much about the character. I've never read the Iron Man 2020. I'll have to look it up. But he comes with really cool accessories. So he has the effects that shoot out of his hand, to propel himself up, and the ones that come from his feet. They're like these flame effects. But he also comes with two little flame stands that you connect to the other pieces. So the other pieces slide right in, and it looks like he is propelling himself from the ground, and he's leaving a trail of flame on the floor. So that to me made this. I paid full price for it, but I don't mind having paid full price for this Iron Man 2020. Then, as it was a week that I was off from work, during the week, we heard that Walgreens had some masks, some surgical masks. So we didn't know which ones. They just my informant told me, "Oh, it's by the Walgreens by your house, man." But I don't remember which one it was. So there are approximately 5 or 6 Walgreens within a, I don't know, I want to say 5-mile radius. So it turned into a Walgreens crawl. We started going to one Walgreens, nothing. So I told her, you know what, I'm gonna go check out the toy aisle, and I whipped out my phone and I recorded, my adventure going through the toys. And we went to, I believe, in total we went to 5 Walgreens, but it wasn't until the 4th Walgreens that we found the masks, and each one didn't really have anything. It just wasn't my day, The toy selection was. It was what's the word I'm looking for here? The toy selection sucked. Okay, so finally we find the masks. There's nothing in any of these Walgreens that I wanted as far as action figures, but a quarter mile down the road there is another Walgreens. So I say to her, you know what? We're here. We have to drive past it. Let me run inside real quick. So I go in, and I find a Knight of Ren. So I was like, whoa, I wasn't even looking for this figure. I don't even know if there are any more Knights of Ren. So anyway, I picked up the action figure, and I came out happy. And that video, and the video for the Loki, and the video for the Iron Man, you can find on the YouTube channel. So, I go in more in depth, taking a look at the figures, except for the Knight of Ren. The Knight of Ren video is only the Walgreens hunt, and when I get home, I don't do an unboxing for it. There will be a video of that coming eventually, but it's just not out yet. And yeah, that's it as far as new buys that I was able to collect for the past week. As far as pop culture and movie news, I don't really have much. We did hear that we're getting the Snyder cut on the Justice League movie, and it's going to be on HBO's streaming service. I don't have HBO's streaming service. If they have a free week trial or something, I might get it after the Snyder cut comes out. And I was watching other videos of YouTubers react to the news, and I'm under the impression that it might be a 4-hour movie. So I don't think it'll be 4 hours like they say. It would probably be 4 1-hour episodes, and totaling a 4-hour movie. If it's that way, I'm okay with it. Again, I'm not gonna subscribe to the HBO streaming service, but I will get their free trial if it means watching the Justice League Snyder cut. Now, that news got me sort of excited, so I went and I rewatched the Justice League movie just a couple of nights ago. And how can I put this? It's definitely no MCU movie. It's not as good, but it was enjoyable. Like as a movie, it was just fun. It was nice escapism. I wasn't expecting a piece of cinematic gold, but I kind of had fun with it. I mean, it's not my favorite superhero movie by far. It's not, but I don't know. I don't have much to say about it except that I found the watch enjoyable. Okay, it's definitely not a fantastic movie, but I wouldn't call it a shit movie either. It was fun. It was nice seeing the DC heroes out there. The Flash was very funny. It was nice watching him on screen. And when they have those obligatory hero shots where they're all standing or walking towards the camera, those are awesome too. Seeing Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman all together in the same shot. And I don't think I'm the only one that at least found this movie the least bit enjoyable. If not, people wouldn't be excited about the Snyder cut, right? Right? Yeah, I'm right. Of course I am. I'm always right. So with that, let's move on to the news. Let's move on to action figure news. Okay, so let's start with a little bit of Star Wars. So Walmart.com had some figures up, not with images or anything, and not even the official names of the figures. They had like code names on them, which are like things like Star Wars Lucas SW BL E9 Salem, and one was a Star Wars Lucas SW BL Mando Jim, and so on and so forth. And I saw this on a YouTube channel, on Usual Mike's YouTube channel, and he gave his thoughts on it and his theories on what these figures might be. And two of those theories got me excited. He said one of them may be Mayfield from The Mandalorian, which is the character played by Bill Burr, because he apparently, he said in an interview that he had gotten scanned for a figure, even though he wasn't supposed to have said it. So, yeah, he was a fun character to watch, and I know my friend George is going to be really excited if that's the character, if that's the figure that we're going to get. I know that's going to be one he's definitely going to be on the hunt for. And the other one that got me excited was Darkseid Rey, because you can say whatever you want about the movie, but that was cool. The way she looked was really cool in The Rise of Skywalker. It was badass. It's a shame we only got that, 30 seconds of her on the screen, but it was badass, and you can't deny it. She'll probably come with that dual lightsaber. I hope that it has the flip action. You know how she like flipped it open and snapped. It's got to have that feature on it. If it does have that feature on it, it's gonna be a figure that I'm definitely gonna get. Let's be honest, I'm probably gonna get it anyway. But if it has that feature, just take my money now, man. So those figures should be slated to come out in late 2020 or early 2021. Hopefully they don't get pushed back because of what's going on in the world. So yeah, be on the lookout for those. As far as the vintage line is not something I collect. It's not something George collects either, but it's worth mentioning for anyone out there that does like them. You guys are getting a vintage playset, which is possibly going to be a carbon freeze chamber. I've always thought of the vintage line as more geared towards children, because playsets and all that you can actually take out and play with. And I've had this discussion with George many a time. Yes, posing the figures and taking pictures of them is also considered playing with them. But to me, playing with them is actually playing with them the way we played with our action figures when we were children, using our imaginations and putting them in scenarios and stuff like that. And these play sets just, man, if I had the real estate, I definitely would like to get them. And speaking of the vintage line, there was a hashtag going around. It was a hashtag BackTVC, and it was a petition, which I guess Hasbro got wind of, and they are now going to be making more characters for the vintage collection. So that's awesome that the fans actually got their voices heard, and Hasbro is now going to make more figures for you vintage collectors. So that's awesome. As long as it doesn't take away from them making figures for the regular 6-inch line or any of their other lines, which I don't think it will, right? Hasbro has to have different divisions, right? For Marvel Legends, for Star Wars, for Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, so on and so forth. As long as it does not mean that we're going to get less 6-inch figures. And yes, this is a bit selfish because I collect the 6-inch line. I'm excited for you all that collect the vintage line because you're going to get more figures. But don't mess with my 6-inch line, all right? Actually, no. You know what? This might be a good thing, because if there's less 6-inch Star Wars figures being released, that means I spend less money. So, yeah, I guess I'm all for it. Give me the petition. I'll sign it, even though what it was meant to be for has already happened. I'll still sign that bad boy. Help me save money, or put that money towards the Mighty Morphin line, or maybe some Marvel Legends. Maybe next year Marvel Legends is going to pick up and really take all of my money. A little bit more news about Star Wars. So the Stormtrooper Commander, which was supposed to have shipped already, that got pushed back when this pandemic started and the store started closing, is now starting to ship. So those of you that had the Stormtrooper Commander should start seeing your figures arriving very soon. So when George and I talked about the SH Figuarts Mandalorian and the Child figures, we mentioned how there was an IG-11 screenshot with the Child. So it's confirmed now that they will be. Well, we speculated if that IG-11 would also be a release, but it wasn't announced. They had only announced the Mando and the Child. Well, now it's official. We're getting an SH Figuarts IG-11, which you can stand next to your Mandalorian and the Child. I don't collect SH Figuarts because of the price point, mostly. And I'm sure they're probably really nice figures. I mean, they should be nice figures, right? They should be better than your regular Black Series line, I mean, for the price. But unfortunately, I don't have the funds for that. Well, I do have the funds for that, but, one SH Figuarts figure is multiple Black Series figures. And there's just so much more in terms of variety for the Black Series. So, yeah, that's what I collect. But these SH Figuarts figures, they look beautiful. Staying on Star Wars and the Black Series, the last bit of news here, we got package shots for some of the upcoming figures, and package shots usually mean that we're close to getting these figures released. So, yeah, this one's going to be tough for me to pass on. So we got the images of Pro Kloon, Kit Fisto, Battle Droid, and the Episode 2 Anakin Skywalker. Now, there was no package shot of the Obi-Wan, which is also a figure that I want. But I'm pretty sure it'll be coming around at the same time, right? It's got to be. I mean, they were announced at the same time, so it wouldn't make sense if they're not being released simultaneously. So yeah, the Anakin is probably the one I want the most from this line. I have the Vintage Collection re-release Anakin Skywalker from Episode 3, and I know I've said in the past that I am not a big fan of having multiple figures of the same character, even though they're in different looks. Anakin Skywalker is arguably my favorite Star Wars character, so I would have the vintage. I would get that one, the Episode 2 that's coming. I'm gonna get that one. And Darth Vader, and that's it. I'm good with those. Like, if they were to release, Little Boy Anakin, that's an easy pass for me. I know George will probably get it because he loves Episode 1. He swears by it up and down. For me, it's a hard pass. No thank you. Yeah, those figures look nice. I'm excited about them. The more Jedi I'm able to acquire to put on my shelf, the better. More lightsabers. You can't go wrong with having more lightsabers on your shelf. Disclaimer, the shelf I'm talking about exists only in my head because due to a lack of real estate, I have all of my Black Series figures in the package, blasphemy, hanging on a wall. But that's going to change. Eventually that's going to change. It's got to change. I want these figures out and on a shelf where they would look beautiful. But enough about Star Wars. Let's talk Marvel. So we got official images of the SH Figuarts Endgame Captain America, the one from the final battle. This figure is set to release later this year. He has 3 head sculpts, a masked, an unmasked, and a masked with gritted teeth. He will have Mjolnir as an accessory, his shield, and the broken shield. So, yeah, these SH Figuarts Marvel figures are also very nice, but it's the same dilemma that I have with the Star Wars. They're just out of my price point. But these SH Figuarts are figures that I would probably... These SH Figuarts Marvel characters are the ones that I would most likely consider getting one if it's a figure that can scale nice with my Marvel Legends that I already have. And it's way better, like, miles better than the Marvel Legends counterpart. yeah, I would consider grabbing those definitely. So speaking of the Captain America, Mafex also showed its Endgame Captain America, and to me, this one is even nicer than the SH Figure Arts one. He comes with a spinning Mjolnir, regular Mjolnir, his shield, his broken shield, 2 masked heads, and an unmasked head. Now, when I was while I was seeing the product shots of these, I was much more impressed with the Mafex Captain America. It just looks so much nicer. But, as I mentioned earlier, I would get a more expensive figure if it's way better than its Marvel Legend counterpart. And Mafex, they did it to me. So they showed images of their Gambit. And Gambit is my favorite X-Men. And X-Men are my favorite Marvel team. This Gambit is 6 inches tall. He has his jacket is cloth material. Comes with 2 head sculpts, a normal and an angry looking Gambit. He comes with several energy effects and his staff. And I think there's also an energy effect for his staff, which we've never seen before. I've got to confess, I've pre-ordered it. This Gambit is probably going to replace my Marvel Legends Gambit that I have on the shelf, on my X-Men shelf. I have 2 Marvel Legend Gambits. I have the Toy Biz version, and I have the Caliban Wave Gambit. But this Mafex Gambit, oh man, is it beautiful. I mean, looking at the product shots of it, it looks like his cloth material coat is going to have bendy wire in it. So you can, maneuver it and get him in all these really nice poses and get the coat to flow. And I've never owned a Mafex figure. I've never held a Mafex figure in my hands out of box. I've held the box, never held them out of box. So I can't speak to the articulation of these. So I'm hoping that the articulation on these bad boys is good. I'm hoping that the joints aren't too loose or too tight. I may be asking for too much here, but for this price point, I should be expecting a figure that's gonna fulfill every desire that I have for what a figure should be. And you can go on websites such as Big Bad Toy Store and look at the product shots. And I encourage you to go and look at them because wow. I'm going through it right now. And yes, so the energy effects for his staff are for each end of the staff. So each end of the staff is you can apply an energy effect. So you can get him kneeling down and hammering the staff on the ground, and you can flow his coat up. The ends of his coat. You can have them look like they're flowing up, and oh man, I can't wait for this. It's set to release March 2021, which is okay for me, I guess. I can wait a year and save up for it. I definitely have enough money for it by then. But yeah, it's going to be a long year. Not because of what's going on in the world, but because I think I'm finally going to get the definitive Gambit for my Marvel Legends shelf. I'm a big Gambit guy. I've got Gambit comic books. Like I said, I have the figures. I have my old Toy Biz Gambit from back in the day with the plastic coat. And yeah, you could call this one my first big boy purchase. On Friday, Hasbro announced more Marvel Legends line, more Marvel Legends figures. And some of these figures got me a little bit excited. I had mentioned earlier in the episode that this has been a slow year for me as far as Marvel Legends go, but some of these figures that are coming out, they're making me rethink things. I think they're coming out later this year. Yes, they are coming out later this year because I went ahead and pre-ordered a couple of them. So first I want to talk about the Walgreens exclusive Moon Knight, which I don't have a Moon Knight. I once had a Moon Knight, the one that's already been released, the latest Moonlight for Marvel Legends. Moon Knight. I think I said Moonlight. I had it. I had bought it, But since I'm not familiar with the character, when I came home, I started feeling the old buyer's remorse, and I ended up returning the figure and regretting it almost immediately. I took it back to Walgreens. I had found it at a Walgreens, the same Walgreens that I found the Knight of Ren. Side note, and I never saw it again, and I regretted it ever since because it is an awesome looking figure, and this new one looks even better because with this new one we get a white mask and a black mask. So definitely a figure that I'm going to be on the lookout for. And recently I've seen people shitting on Walgreens. You know, they'll sarcastically make a snarky remark about Walgreens and their figure system. I don't know why. I have an easier time finding figures in the wild at Walgreens than at Walmart or Target. It's like not even close, you know? I've found almost all of my figures at Walgreens. Walgreens does a great job in getting their figures out, so I don't know what people are talking about. And I'm hoping that I will run with the same amount of luck for this Moon Knight, because it's definitely one that I'm going to be adding to the collection. So they also showed off the retro collection for the Spider-Man figures, the Spider-Man card back figures, and some of those are figures that I'm willing to spend the money on. They have the Marvel Legends retro Daredevil, where he's got like a red and black suit. They showed off the Gwen Stacy, which I believe comes with a separate head. Which it comes with another head, and it's Mary Jane. So if you don't want to have Gwen Stacy, you can just swap the heads and have yourself a Mary Jane figure, or go ahead and get two of them so that you can have 1 and 1 on your shelf. You know what? Might as well get 4 because you need 2 to open, right? And these I will forgive you if you choose to keep them in the packaging and put them up on the wall, because the cards are a thing of beauty. They also showed off their Peter Parker. That's going to be an easy pass for me. The Electro is really nice. The Retro Electro is that. Retro Electro. Say that 5 times really quick. That is one that I'm definitely placed my pre-order for. I'm thinking about. Well, I'll get to that. I'll get to that when I'm finished talking about this. They also showed another Spider-Man, the Retro Collection Spider-Man. This one's a little bit bulkier. He is reminiscent of the old Spider-Man that we used to have back in the Toy Biz days, which was one of my favorite Spider-Mans. It was one of my favorite toys, period. The amount of articulation on this bad boy was so awesome. It was just something that we didn't have back then with the other figures. And it was also kind of loose. So it might have been just my Spider-Man, which was, kind of, you can like dangle him around. And that just made for him, I don't know. It just, to me, it was everything a Spider-Man figure should be. And this retro Spider-Man looks like it's going to be a nice homage to it. So definitely one I already put my pre-order in for. And they also showed the Retro Collection Green Goblin, which is basically a re-release of the Green Goblin, the Green Goblin that we already have, except for the color scheme. The green is a little lighter, the purple is a little lighter, and the face. The face is very different. The way his ears are shaped, and he's got these crazy looking eyes. He looks a lot more cartoony. Now, I'm not sure if the glider, I can't tell from the product shots if the glider is any different, but it looks to be pretty much the same. I mean, the sculpting is the same, the costume is the same. The only difference is the head. I could definitely say the head is very different, and the color scheme on it. So I still haven't decided if this is one that I'm going to pre-order. I'll give it another week or so to decide. I'll have to talk to George and see if he can convince me. So what I was saying about the Spider-Man, which I waited to mention until now. What I was saying about the Spider-Man is that I'm thinking about starting a Spider-Man shelf. And when I say I'm thinking about starting a Spider-Man shelf, I don't mean just like, Spider-Man and some villains. Lately I've been thinking a lot about getting the different versions of Spider-Man. This isn't something that I usually would want to do. Like I said, I don't like having multiples of the same character. But lately, I don't know, I've got the Spider-Man bug. I rewatched Homecoming about a week ago, and I've been playing the Spider-Man game, and I don't know. I think I have to just put the game down for a while and not think about Spider-Man because it's making me want to go out there and collect a bunch of different Spider-Mans. And definitely a shelf is coming, but I don't want to overpopulate that shelf with a bunch of Spider-Mans, but they look so fucking cool, right? So I might have to go ahead and do that anyway. So George, if you listen to this, immediately message me, call me, and talk me out of it, man. I think I need an intervention. I think I'm having Marvel Legends withdrawals. It's hitting me hard. So along with those reveals that they had on Friday, they also showed off the Marvel Legends War Machine. It's a deluxe figure, so it's going to be a little bit more expensive. This is probably a pass for me. I don't know what the differences are. I did not watch the stream. I'm going to be honest. I was asleep when the stream happened, when the announcements happened. So the War Machine I'm going to end up getting because my son I don't know, he loves War Machine. So it's one that I'm going to have to pre-order and go ahead and get for him. But the one that got me not excited, but it definitely made me go, ooh, that's nice. That's cool. What is that? Is the Deluxe Apocalypse from Age of Apocalypse. This is also a deluxe figure, so it's going to be more expensive. I've never read the comic books. I'm very close. I'm pulling the trigger on getting the first issue of it, digital comic version. But I'm kind of scared because I'm afraid it's going to make me go out there and pre-order this. He looks, I don't know. I mean, it's a nice design, and it's nice and big. This could have easily been a Build-A-Figure, but instead of doing that, they're just packaging them off. And that is making me want to go get it even more because I don't have to get 5 or 6 figures that I don't want just to get this one. I could pay the flat, $31.99 plus shipping and get an awesome looking Apocalypse. And I'm sure he's going to be really popular. So yeah, I think I'm going to have to pre-order this. As soon as I'm finished recording here, I'm going to go on there and pre-order it. Or you know what? Let's do this live on the cast. I've got the screen open. Let me go ahead and log in. We've got the login going there. We're waiting for the screen to refresh. Let me look at my order history, see if I can replace anything on here. And double check and make sure that I didn't already pre-order him. But no, I have not. So we'll go back to the home page here really quickly. If you all will bear with me, but I want you all to accompany me on this journey, on this journey to financial ruin. So let's add them to the carts. So it'll be $31.99. We'll get the flat rate shipping. I don't need anything fancy. I can wait. I don't need any special packaging. So it'll be $4 for shipping, and the estimated tax is about $2.25. So I'm looking at about $38.24. I'm sure that's not going to be the final price, but yeah, let's go ahead and pre-order that. Pre-order that bad boy. So the order went through. I will not be charged until the figure ships, so that makes me happy. So yeah, Age of Apocalypse has been pre-ordered. Now I got to go and read the comic books. Hopefully I don't like the story. I'm kind of hoping I don't like the story, so I could, be so upset that I cancel the pre-order. Okay, so the last bit of news here that I have on this episode is that during the announcements, they said that next year the largest Build-A-Figure ever for Marvel Legends will be coming out, and this is including the Toy Biz era. They also showed off a very large Sentinel leg, which many people are saying is going to be the new HasLab, because the next HasLab was going to be X-Men themed, and this leg looked huge. It was about 15 inches tall, maybe more, maybe less, but it looked really big. It was a prototype leg. It wasn't painted in or anything, but I don't know the name of the guy, but he put it on the table and he just like casually didn't mention it. He was just like, "Oh, I'm looking for something here," and he put the leg there, and I can't find it, and so yeah, that's probably going to be the next HasLab, the large Sentinel, or maybe that's the largest Build-A-Figure. That maybe that's going to be the largest Build-A-Figure, right? I mean, why couldn't it be? I think they can fit. I'd have to measure the packaging of the Marvel Legends to see if they could fit like a 15-inch. No, I'm probably wrong here. I mean, I'm hoping it's the largest Build-A-Figure because a HasLab is not going to be in the price point. It's not going to be in the price range for me because of the Gambit. And as beautiful as a gigantic Sentinel would be, I would not trade in my Gambit for it. So, oh man, I hope it's the largest Build-A-Figure ever. But no, the torso would also have to be gigantic, and I just don't see them being able to package off a gigantic torso with a regular Marvel Legend. So unfortunately for me and my theory, it's not going to be that. It is going to be the HasLab. Kudos to all of you that are going to back this project up, and I'm sure they'll reach whatever goal they're trying to for this, because man, people love Sentinels. I love Sentinels, I love them so much I wish it would be a Build-A-Figure. And I probably would get it, to hell with real estate. I'll keep it in the box and put it in a corner somewhere and just take it out for pictures, but I can't pass on Remy LeBeau. Mafex Remy is tied up my extravagant spending money for next year. So yeah, it's gonna have to go into that. But I'm looking forward to seeing all the reviews of this gigantic HasLab Sentinel. So yeah, that's it for news. And with that, we come to the end of another Two Hasbro's Toy Hunt podcast episode. I hope I wasn't too boring for all of you out there. It's kind of weird recording by yourself without having somebody to to bounce the conversation off of. But some of this news, I didn't want to wait another week. I wanted to get it out to you all now and at least get my reaction. I would have loved to have gotten George's reaction, and hopefully he'll be joining us again soon. We wish him the best. Everything is okay. If anyone out there is wondering, George is fine. His health is fine. He's just he's changed up his work schedule per se, and he was not able to join me on this recording. So yeah, stop by the YouTube channel. The Two Hasbro's Toy Hunt. Check out some of the content on there. I went really hard this week with the videos. I think I put out a video almost every day. That's probably not something I'm going to be doing all the time because of work obligations. But since I was off this week, I pumped out as many videos as I could. I wanted to get stuff out there. I want to get more stuff on the channel. And we love toys, and I just have them here in this room. Yes, I display them. Recently, I started getting into taking pictures of them, but I wanted more. I wanted to do something a little bit more with the collection, so I went ahead and I thought, you know what? Let's do a podcast about it. And George and I, we love talking about it. Every time we hung out here, that's all we would do. We would talk about toys, so might as well make it a podcast. And the figures that I've got nothing else to do with them. Well, let's make videos or something, right? So, stop by there, subscribe, like the videos if you liked them, dislike them if you didn't. Let me know what you would like to see on there or what changes you would like. Follow me on Instagram if you want to see some of the pictures that I've been taking. For example, today I went out to Dollar Tree and I bought a water bottle, a cylindrical water bottle, and I spray painted the cap. I unscrewed the cap. I spray painted it a metallic color. I inserted the Weapon X figure, filled it up with warm water, and I have these circle lights that are Aura LED lights. They're made for pools, so you can put them outside in the rain or in a pool or whatever. Now, I didn't have to wet these or anything, but it fits perfectly under the water bottle. And when you light it up, you've got yourself a Weapon X in his adamantium bonding chamber. And yeah, that's the latest picture I took. If you want to see pictures like that and of other action figures that I take, follow me at Gio_synchronicity on Instagram. That's where I put up the pictures. Like I said, we have the toys. Let's do some things with them, and taking pictures is a part of it. So yeah, Gio at _synchronicity on Instagram. And if you really feel passionate about chewing me out, you can send me an email. You can email the show at toyhunt@gmail.com. Shoot us an email, and we're always open to hearing ideas and opinions. So hopefully this show is starting to reach more and more ears. So you can listen to it on Spreaker. You can listen to it on Apple Podcasts. We're also on Google Podcasts, and hopefully soon enough we'll be on more podcast platforms. Getting our voices out there and our toy opinions as well. Until next time, thank you all for bearing the sound of my voice for however many minutes this episode's gonna be. Bye-bye.